Okay, it's your boy Jay Pillar, baby, back bringing truth because, like I say, I heard Phil Knight still tripping about Kyrie. These people have a history of lying, and I'm for to show you in part two. Now, this is George Washington letter to the Emperor of Morocco, which is Africa, which is also America, which is basically the whole world. Morocco is the whole world once you really know your history. So I'm going to show you what you will never see in school, black people. They always talk about Britain, right? Now watch this. He said, this George Washington, he said to Sidi Mohammad from New York, 1789, December. Now, we read the last letter was a couple months before. He said, since the date of the letter which the late Congress by their president addressed your imperial majesty, the United States of America have thought proper to change their government and institute a new one, agreeable to the Constitution of which I have the honor of herewith enclosing a copy. The time necessarily employed in this arduous task and derangement occasioned by so great, though peaceable, a revolution will apologize and account for your majesty not having received those regular advances and marks of attention from the United States, which the friendship of magnanimity of your conduct towards them afforded reason to expect. The United States having unanimously appointed me to the supreme executive authority in this nation, your Majesty letter of the 17th August 1788, which by reason of dissolution of the late government remained unanswered, has been delivered to me. I have also received the letters which your Imperial Majesty has been so kind as to write in favor of the United States to the Marshal of Tunis and Tripoli, and I present you the sincere acknowledgement and thanks of the United States for this important mark of your friendship. Now, before I get further, Tunis, that's a Tunis and Tripoli in Africa and America, right? We greatly regret that the hostile disposition of those regencies toward this nation who have never injured them is not removed on terms in our power to comply with. Now, when we say that, how could you not? If this is Africa, how could you have never injured them in slavery going on, right? Within our territories, there are no mines either of gold or silver, and this young nation just recovered from race and dissolution of a long war, the so-called war. They had a war with Britain, right? With Queen Sophia Charlotte. She was trying to free the African slaves, as yet had time to require riches by agriculture and commerce. But our soil is bountiful and our people industrious, and we have reason to flatter ourselves that we shall gradually become useful to our friends. So he's saying how they're becoming a whole new nation. This is they just beginning. How you look at them now, oh, this powerful nation. They just freed themselves from Queen Charlotte in England, right? And she trying to free us and tell us to go to Canada. So I'm gonna keep on going. But it's crazy, right? We're gonna keep on going. The encouragement which your majesty has been pleased generously to give our commerce with your dominions the punctuality with which you have caused the treaty with us to be observed. Let me say that again. The encouragement which your majesty has been pleased generously to give our commerce with your dominions, the means being with your land, the punctuality which you have caused the treaty to be observed, and the just and generous measure taken in the case of Captain Proctor made a deep impression on the United States and confirmed their respect for and attachment to your Imperial Majesty. And so, what we read before, we read about how Captain Proctor got freed, how these Moors, with the Emperor of Morocco, of all those Moors, freeing them to honor the treaty, saying, no, we made an agreement to stop the war. You call Captain Proctor, free him. And you hear George Washington say, your just and generous measure taken in the case of Captain Proctor made a deep impression on the United States. The punctuality which you have caused the treaty with us to be observed. So he's like, oh, you observing this treaty. But you know, when we go to court, they act like they don't even know it's the treaty between the Moors and the United States because it's still a hustle going on. It's a very profitable hustle for them to not tell you this. And then if you go to their schools and they just tell you that you just black, you just black. Oh, Moor, what's that? Because they don't want you to see this type of stuff, right? How we freed them and they supposed to free us and let's be judged by our own peers, right? Because we're gonna read the treaty too. But let's go down. It gives me pleasure. It gives me pleasure. to have this opportunity of assuring your majesty that while I remain at the head of this nation, I shall not cease to promote every measure that may conduce to the friendship and harmony which has so happily subsist between your Moorish empire and them, and shall esteem myself in every occasion of convincing your majesty of the high sense which in common with the whole nation, which the country ain't got no nation, I shall. How you got a nation? They just came out of war with Britain. What nation? They don't even got California yet. I entertain a magnanimity, wisdom, and benevolence of your majesty. In the course of approaching winter, the national legislature, which is called by the former name of Congress, will assemble, and I shall take care that nothing be omitted that may be necessary to cause the correspondence between our countries to be maintained and conducted in a manner agreeable to your majesty and satisfactory to all parties concerned in it. May the Almighty bless your imperial majesty, our great magnanimous friend, with his constant guidance and protection. Written at the city of New York at the first day of December 1789, George Washington. This letter is addressed to our great friend, His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of Morocco. He was concerned with the expanding commerce of other nations. Okay? So you see how they try to switch language, right? But we're gonna get back to this. He says, it gives me pleasure. Let's go back. The punctuality which you observed, the treaty with us to be observed, the Treaty of Morocco and United States. Let's go. We're gonna read that. It shows that he, in the case of Captain Proctor, we just read that. It made a deep impression. You set him at liberty and told he can go wherever he want to go. But you in your neighborhood, these people chasing you around. And Morocco is also America. We're gonna show you that too, right? And then he says, it gives me pleasure of assuring that while ahead of this nation, I shall not cease to promote every measure, meaning promoting the treaty to conduce friendship and harmony. Now, in school, are you being told about the treaty that help conduce friendship and harmony between so-called black people and so-called white people? Are you being told that? Well, the Congress not promoting every measure to conduce friendship between and harmony between us two. We're being told that we were just slaves. We all came on a slave ship. We have no history. Only law we need to read is like the 18th and 19th Amendment. But here you have it that George Washington wrote a letter because they were the slaves. Now, but I told you, Queen Charlotte was the Queen of England. That's what they was fighting. But she was trying to help free us too. And people say, well, how can Morocco not see that we enslaved? And listen, man, there was no internet like that. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of strife still going on. But you can see that he made an agreement that if we know who we are, we can free ourselves, which basically would end any type of enslavement, right? He said, hey, know who you are, free yourself. That's who the Sidi Mohammad was saying. No, you don't enslave my people. Let them free themselves. We'll free y'all. We'll stop this war. We'll quit catching you. You quit capturing us. And a good movie to watch is Captains of the Caribbean. You see that dude, Captain Sparrow, got locks. All right? So that's your boy Pillar. I'm going to show you part 3, 4, 5 until you get this right. Now, you will never see this letter in your African history school book. This is African history. America and Africa are the same place. We control both of those before enslavement. So get at me, your boy J. Pillar Bay. Keep believing yourself. Know thyself. Shem Hotep, my people. Shalom.